here we are, discussing one of the brightest classicos for the past few years. Lucas Vasquez completely destroyed John Cancelo while Bellingham truly earned a Hollywood ending. Real Madrid won these classics for the fourth consecutive time, 3-2 in yesterday's match at Bernabeu. There was almost everything, from tactical surprises to a dramatic conclusion. Carlo Ancelotti truly surprised with the lineup. Due to Dani Carvajal injury, Lucas Vazquez started on the right, Eduardo Camavinga played as a left back, Tchouameni in the center of defense, and Modric found a place in midfield. With the position of the central players, it's difficult to explain it in just one picture, and we will discuss it in more details below. Xavi decision choosing the center with Andres Christensen were less surprising, not a new one, but a more pragmatic option. Now coming back to Real Madrid's scheme. Without fixed position in midfield and adopting to Araujo when defending. Formally, defensive setup was 4-2-3-1 with Modric on the right flank. In practice, this scheme combined with another move, giving maximum freedom to Ronald Araujo. This trick Ancelotti copied from Luis Enrique. Real Madrid players literally opened up, maximizing Araujo's freedom but blocking all the short pass options. Even more interesting mechanism were in Ancelotti's scheme with the ball. Essentially, when Madrid possessed the ball, they played with five midfielders without fixed positions, with constant rotations. The midfield four plus Camavinga created a pentagon. Each could be at any level of structure. Both of Carlos' moves were interesting and mostly successful. Due to Araujo's freedom, Barcelona's attack was hidden and Xavi's team positioning didn't work really well. Rotations in midfield held play against Barcelona extremely bold pressing and provided spectators with plenty of exciting transition attacks. That's a key feature for Real Madrid is known. But to be fair, this stage was without a clear winner. Real Madrid played boldly under pressure and Barcelona bravely pressed. The outcomes varied. Real Madrid, as always, overloaded the flank. This time it was the right flank. The consequence of these movies was increasing pressure on the right side of the field. This contains shapely with Madrid's classical zone feeling. In the basic setup, Vinicius and Rodrigo tend towards the left side with their parents, creating overloads there. Yesterday, it was different. Firstly, Modric's normal position was close to the right flank, but the Croatian magnetized overloads and combination play. Most often Valverde, Bellingham and Rodrigo plus right back Vasquez joined him. Secondly, Vasquez played as the right back, an experienced winger he is. Carvajal this season also learns towards attack but differently. He's more versatile in choosing position, including using the central zone, more like a false fullback, and immediately moves forward. Vasquez played more clearly along the side and sometimes dragged himself along the touchline. João Cancelo fell victim to this mechanism. The Portuguese is vulnerable defensively. Perhaps Ancelotti intentionally made him a target. If so, the bet paid off. The right flank, especially Vasquez, played a huge role in all of the Madrid goals. Bold zonal pressing from Barcelona was a source of chances and spectacle. Barcelona confidently applied pressure on the opponent's half. The six midfielders and attacking players covered the center and shift according to the ball. Positions in the block can't be sudden. For example, sometimes Rafinha and Yamal ended up in the bottom line. Sometimes Christensen positioned himself higher than even Lewandowski, but the principle of orienting towards the ball and closing to the center remained the same. The six covered the center, and the fullbacks from the side were attacking where the attack was going supported them. In total, up to the seven players were involved in pressing at the same time. It's bold pressing, and it's very well organized. This was the only way to suffocate Real Madrid's scheme with midfielders' rotations. Sometimes it worked, sometimes it didn't. On the one hand, there was intensive Barcelona pressure. On the other, Madrid's unique qualities of players and rotations, high interceptions and alternatives with elegant attacks. The most spectacular stage of this match with no clear winners. One more duel, Yamal versus Camavinga, an important individual duel. The most effective mechanism for Barcelona with the ball was delivering to Lamine Yamal, preferably isolated against Camavinga. Barcelona's best moments came this way throughout the season. Ancelotti has failed Ferland Mendy as best left back, but his involvement was in doubt due to a minor injury against Manchester City. He was in the squad, but Camavinga started. Barcelona created chances through his zone primarily due to the pressure volume. A substantial proportion of episodes favored Eduardo, but still there were too many threats. In the second half, Barcelona completely opened up the center. Frankie de Jong injury and Andres Christensen's substitutions to Fermin Lopez at halftime significantly influenced the game. In the second half, Xavi's team started with a combination of Pedri Gundogan in midfield with Fermin operating closer to Lewandowski. The game opened up on both ends. Barcelona increased the number of players involved in plays, capable of receiving the ball under pressure and advancing it better. Real gained new opportunities on counterattacks. One manifestation of openness was Brahim Diaz's runs. You surely remember his run before the goal. 7 minutes earlier, Brahim had practically done the same solo. A common element that was that Barcelona midfielders as spectators breathing down their necks, but nothing more. Barcelona's center was too exposed both in terms of quality of performance and their positions. Dribblers were just one way of exploiting it. And that's why the reason Barcelona had no truly defensive midfielder in this phase. And now a few words about the hero of the ending, who is now considered to be one of the major favorites to receive the Golden Ball, Jude Bellingham. It's a case where the scorer of the winning goal was at the heart of everything good throughout the match and simply kept his brilliance with the final act. Here is a brief description of Jude's functionality in the Clasico. Tremendous off the ball work, indirectly reflected in the leadership in interception and tackles. But an even more critical moment was his role as the first player in pressing. He read the start of the press well and worked effectively in it. Second point, participation in midfield rotations, where he advanced the ball, created combinations, and helped overload the right flank. He did all this with a 96 pass accuracy, second only to Toni Kroos, who played less and was positioned much deeper. Third point, timely changed the direction of attack and organized interesting openings inside the penalty area. And some of this work went unnoticed. Not all of Jude's actions were utilized, but this top level performance was evident. Impeccable decisions and clever escapes from the opponents. The fourth and the final one, he linked the counterattacks through runs and passes both, and at the end of the match, elegantly finished one of them. The main feeling from this Clasico that it was a pure football delight. Without trying to talk about the results or even goal scoring opportunities, both teams combined everything that football needs to be brilliant. It was the highest skill level and gave us an insane amount of top football. It's a special type of spectacle. Not a roller coaster with a bunch of chances, but an elevation of ordinary episodes to special status due to described elements. Obviously, not everyone feels the same way, and it's a pity because the football was simply beautiful. The topic of our new video gonna be about Xavi that decided to stay at Barcelona after this very tough week When Barcelona got out of the Champions League and lost the opportunities to win the title, he decided to stay. That was a tough decision for him, that's for sure. But now he's truly beloved, also both by the president and the crowd. Let's see what happens in future.